What's going on, guys, and welcome back to Touchdowns to Home Runs. My name's Bernie. Thank you for joining us today on the Touchdowns to Home Runs post-game show. I hope that your day is going absolutely fantastic. But what a day it is. We finally have college basketball back, and I know I'm a huge college basketball fan, and I'm just really excited to have it back. Should be an exciting season, should the COVID hold up and allow us to play. But for today, we have a final score from this game between the Michigan Wolverines, who are ranked number 25 in the polls, against the Bowling Green Falcons. Michigan takes care of business by a score of 96-82. And we'll get to the box scores in just a second. But I want to break down sort of what I saw first from Michigan, the way their team looks, and just the overall entirety of the way this game played out, and then we'll head on to the box score. But in terms of Michigan, they have a very interesting team dynamic. The way that their team is made up, the type of players, it's a very interesting look. They have a bunch of freshmen that we saw today, particularly highlighted by Hunter Dickinson. Obviously, those guys haven't played with anybody. A bunch of transfers, Mike Smith, Chaundee Brown, who played absolutely fantastic, both of them did today, but again, haven't played with the rest of the guys on the team. And then we look at guys like Livers, Wagner, Brooks, Davis, Brandon Johns, and I mean, Livers was hurt for a lot of last year. Brandon Johns didn't get too much time in the starting lineup. He only filled in for Livers. Austin Davis didn't start. Obviously, he was on the bench behind Teskey. So it was only Wagner and Brooks last year who really got to play together. So this was a completely new look. But they look like they meshed together really well. And one thing that I wanted to point out, the ball movement was fantastic. Even though they weren't knocking down shots in the first half, the ball movement was fantastic. And I think, we can't judge too much on a game against Bowling Green just because they're Bowling Green, not a fantastic team. But there are still the positives. Again, the ball movement. I think that knocking down the shots wasn't there in the first half. It was better in the second half. I think it'll come more and more throughout the season. But they looked pretty solid defensively, had a lot of hustle plays. They were fantastic in transition. When you look at guys like Franz Wagner, Chaundee Brown, what those guys can do when they're on in transition on the defensive side of the ball. But I mean, absolutely fantastic play. I really liked what I saw from the Michigan Wolverines, even though they won by 14. Anyways, let's take a look at the box score. Michigan went with the starting lineup today. Mike Smith, Eli Brooks, Franz Wagner, Austin Davis, Isaiah Livers. So we did get to see some of the new faces in there. First, Mike Smith. 16 points. He was absolutely fantastic, especially in the first half. It's a different look than Xavier Simpson. He is more of a scoring first point guard, but he still got those 8 assists. He was able to move the ball, score really effectively. He was great from the free throw line, great from the field. Everything Mike Smith did today, besides his defense at the very start of the first half, it was fantastic. And I mean, this is a guy that I think Michigan can win with at the point guard position, so I liked what I saw from him. They went with Austin Davis starting at center instead of Hunter Dickinson. I was a little bit surprised, but Dickinson ended up getting the more minutes. The only reason that I could think of for that was they wanted Hunter Dickinson to just feel like he didn't have to do too much too early. I expect him to be in the starting lineup, if not next game, definitely at some point soon down the season. But Isaiah Livers was fantastic. 17 points, 3 3-pointers, 7 for 14 from the field, 9 rebounds, 3 assists. He does it all. And again, we knew that it was such a big thing in the offseason that Isaiah Livers didn't go into the NBA draft, and he comes back to Michigan. He's the backbone of this team. He does it all offensively, gives you that hustle plays, can move the ball around, guard multiple positions. Isaiah Livers is the backbone of the team. One thing, I want to flip over to the bench because, I mean, this is where we really got to highlight this stuff. And Chaundee Brown, our 6th man, some people thought he might start if Eli Brooks played at the point guard and Mike Smith and Chaundee Brown was at the 2, but he was fantastic. 5 for 7 from 3, 6 for 8 from the field, 19 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. You can see what he does in transition. He brings so much energy. He can do it all. He's a fantastic scorer. Chaundee Brown looks like a guy who can definitely help us win a lot of games this year, and I was really happy with what I saw from him. The other guy that I really want to highlight, Hunter Dickinson. Again, a lot of people thought he was probably going to start at center. He probably will, if not next game, really soon in the near future. But 11 points from him and 8 rebounds. And again, he has some big shoes to fill, right? Teskey's our center last year. Teskey was not only a veteran, but he did a lot of things right. He was a fantastic rim protector. He was great at working offensively under the basket. And it's hard for a young freshman to be able to fill those shoes. But Juwan Howard, a lot of Michigan fans know that this kid's extremely talented. He doesn't necessarily space the floor the same way as Teskey does, but he's great on the glass. He's got some great inside moves. His footwork today under the basket looked like he was a veteran, and I think there's a lot to look forward there, and I think that there's a lot to look forward to this year. Definitely a good showing, I think, today from Michigan, especially in that second half. Michigan, again, didn't shoot great in the first half, but 54.1% from the field overall. This is a team that even last year was known for their field goal percentage. Again, 54% from the field, 37 from 3, 20 for 26 from the line. Overall, really solid performance. Great on the glass, moving the ball around constantly. That was something even the announcers pointed out. Need to take down the turnovers a little bit. I thought they were a little sloppy at times, but they did a really good job also drawing some sloppy play out of Bowling Green, I think, as well. They drew a lot of fouls, which is something that at times we didn't really see last year. But, you know, the difference from this year to last year, we saw a lot more of attacking the basket, ball movement that we didn't really see last year, and, you know, some quality shooting at the free throw line. So I think not too much you should be judging against a team like Bowling Green, but I think you have to be able to take out those underlying positives, which is the ball movement, the transition, a team that hasn't played a lot together, and how good they looked and how well they look like they meshed together. Quickly before we end the video, let's just look at the next game for the Michigan Wolverines. If you watch my Michigan season preview, you know that Michigan's early part of the schedule is fairly simple. They will go on now to play the Oakland Golden Grizzlies, who had an absolutely awful game. I think they were only 15-point underdogs today, but they ended up losing by like 60 to Xavier today by a score of 101-49. Excuse my math. Only 52 points, but should definitely be, you know, another opportunity for Michigan to play a weaker opponent, figure out the way that they mesh together, and continue on the second half that they had today, because they definitely looked very solid. Anyways, guys, if you did make it to this point in the video, though, thank you so much for watching. I want to hear your thoughts on the game down in the comment section below. Let's get a conversation started. Let me know your predictions for Michigan basketball for the rest of the year. Our football team might not be doing great, but it looks like we definitely have some positive signs here from our basketball team. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Also, if you haven't already, we do have a podcast, and we have a website and store. We have some college football merch on there. We're trying to get some Michigan merch up really soon, so keep an eye out for that. Links for all of those down in the description below. Anyways, guys, if you liked today's video, make sure to leave a thumbs up and subscribe to Touchdowns to Home Runs. We've been absolutely grinding out the channel, and expect more post-game shows, especially for basketball, to be coming in the near future. Should be a really exciting season. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.